Hi, I'm Herald. I work as a government employee, married with 2 kids. Sometimes I do taxi driver during weekends. My wife worked abroad since 2010. We have 2 kids, 5 years old and 2 years old when she started working abroad. I'm the one who raised our children until now. At first, our relation is still okay for a long-distance relationship of a couple. We call each other regularly, but there's a saying that it won't take long for a person's attitude to change, and in my case, I can tell that it's true. 2011 to 2014, I can tell that we're still okay, but when 2015 came, she suddenly changed. Our regular calls have now become just twice a week. If she calls, she will immediately ask for the kids and won't even bother to ask about me. She's up. First vacation is 2016. Instead of going home, she went to his parents' house and called the kids. Until she returned abroad, and I didn't even see her. That's a huge insult to me because I didn't do anything wrong to her. Until I found out that she actually has a partner abroad. I hid the status of my marriage from my parents and cousins, even my siblings, because I'm embarrassed. I pretend that we're okay because I didn't want her to ruin my family's image. 2018, when she started to communicate with me like as if nothing happened, and because of my desire to not ruin my family, I forgot everything she did because it was also for the benefit of the children. June 2018, she came home for a vacation and stayed at our house. We were okay and happy until he went back abroad. Until I found out again that they got back together with his partner abroad. When she got back together with me, it was because she had a falling out with his partner abroad. Because of that, she insulted my manhood so much that I forgot everything she did. But no, she repeated it. She has abused my dignity too much, until I decided and talked to her that we should break up. She was surprised because she probably thought that I wouldn't get tired of her. I told her to tell his parents, but she didn't want to because she knew she was the one at fault. But I didn't stop, and I personally called her parents and my parents to discuss our marital problems. I showed all the evidence I have to her parents that she has someone abroad, and they apologized to me. The next people I talked to were my children. I told them about our situation as a couple. They were teary-eyed and said, "Don't worry, Dad, we understand you." Fast forward, my wife and I are no longer together, only in paper. I focused on my job and my side hustle as a taxi driver. My eldest is already in college. I let their mother to decide whether to send money for the children or not. I no longer inquired about her financial help for the education of her children. I just let her be happy with his partner abroad. I don't care about them anymore. My love for her is totally gone. I told myself that even if I grow old alone, as long as my children finish their studies and have good lives, I will be happy. 2023, she suddenly came home. I was out of town at that time, so she was brave and went back to our house. I was really angry, but I held back because of our children, because no matter what happens, she is still their mother. I came home and we talked. She wanted to get back together with me, but I just laughed and said, "It's no longer possible. You no longer have a foolish husband to return to." I endured for a long time, hoping she would change. So I gave her a second chance, but she just toyed with me, played with our marriage. I never cheated on her. I was a faithful husband, but she took all my sacrifices for granted. I lost my trust in women. As they say, fate can be playful. In her 14 years abroad, almost all of her salary was for herself. She doesn't have regular remittances. She only gives when she wants to. That's why I work as a taxi driver on weekends, and by God's grace, it meets the needs of our family. I am thankful because she didn't spend anything on our house. Everything came from me. That's why she also has the decency to stay away, because she knows deep down that she didn't contribute anything. What she did abroad was just enjoy and indulge herself with higher man. That's why she came home, because she was sick. I said, "Why did you come home when radiation and chemotherapy are free abroad?" Her tears suddenly fell while I was watching her cry. It felt like my heart suddenly shattered. She asked me if she could stay at our house while she was undergoing treatment. I agreed because of my children, and also because I felt guilty, and because in the eyes of God, she is still my wife. But before I agreed to her request, I had one condition. She would leave our house after she got treated, and she agreed. I fulfilled my obligations to her as a husband. I accompanied her during her radiation and chemotherapy. I gave up my taxi driving so I would have enough time for her. She has nothing to say because we, the father and daughters, take care of her. I am thankful that my children are kind. They never held any resentment towards their mother. She lived in our house for almost 6 months until she recovered. She still hoped that our family can be fixed, but it's really not possible anymore. My heart has hardened. Forgiveness can be given, but getting back together is no longer possible. I endured 14 years without her, so I can also endure a lifetime without her. So I just reminded her of my condition, that she will leave our house once she recovers. I called my in-laws, and they picked her up. I showed that I was strong in front of her, but when she left, I became emotional while staring at our wedding ring, which symbolizes our marriage, realizing that I was the only one who took it seriously, and she treated it as a game. Both of my siblings are happily married, which I envy because their spouses are kind. If there's a family gathering, I'm the only one without a spouse among us. Sometimes it's awkward, but now I've gotten used to it. Thanks to my parents who were always there to uplift my feelings, reminding me that it wasn't me who was wrong or did anything wrong. I'm just envious of my friends and relatives whose wives are abroad, but are still happily married, while my married life has failed because of cheating. There are many temptations around, but I resisted while she did not. That's why they say that cheating is a choice. You can't say you were just tempted because you can control yourself if you want to or not. 2024, when I met Andrea, she was my friend's sister-in-law. I met her when I was invited to the house blessing of my friend, and we became close to each other, with her treating me like an older brother. I tell her all my problems, and she listens attentively. Her good advice always lightens my mood. I can't help but fall in love with her, but I never admitted to her that I like her, because who am I to be liked by a single and decent woman? It feels like my day isn't complete if I can't chat with her or talk to her at all. But until now, I still ignore my feelings because in the eyes of the Lord, I am still married, and I don't want to ruin our friendship just because of what I feel. Maybe my destiny is to grow old alone, but that's okay. What's important to me is that my children's lives are well. They are 2 girls, and my only prayer is that when the day comes for them to get married, I hope the man has the same principles as I do and won't just fool them like their mother did to me. Every weekend they visit their mother, and sometimes she asks me when we question our children if I still don't want our family to be whole again. Who is a father who doesn't want his family to be complete? But for me, it's over no matter how hard she tries, because my love for her has naturally faded. I gave her a second chance, but she disregarded it. Our children are the only connection we have for life. I wish her the best, hoping she gets better and stronger. We discussed our annulment, and she agreed to sign. The latest update I have on her is that she is still continuing her chemotherapy, and his boyfriend from abroad visited him. I don't feel jealous anymore, unlike before when I was extremely jealous, but now it has no effect on me. My only prayer is that she changes, and if she and his boyfriend abroad are meant for each other, I hope there are no longer playing games anymore. Even though my marriage failed, I am still very thankful because I was given kind children. I'm back to driving a taxi again because my eldest is going to college and my youngest is going to second-year high school. Even though I can't provide everything they need, I'm just thankful that they appreciate all the sacrifices I make as their father and that we can at least eat 3 times a day. About Andrea, we are still friends. Our relationship is still good. Nothing has changed. I have forgotten my feelings to her because I am so shy and because she deserves a guy who is single and of the same age as her, not a single dad and older than her. But who knows if fate wants us to be together in the future. When we become a couple, then I'll tell you all about it again. Thank you for listening to my story of life that is painful but joyful.
Thank you for listening to the story of Herald. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you again in the next story.